Hey, hi everybody! So I promised that I would show you how to use a swift and a ball winder, and I finally settled on a slightly different color of Darnie. I was thinking about using the Buttercup, but I think I'm going to go with Heath. I'm feeling very green for this knitted lace along, and clearly I have my green for my baby blanket as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just take the label off of my Darnie, and I always like to save my label. I actually use that label and I put it in the middle of my cake so that my cake doesn't collapse when I'm knitting, and it also lets me know what the yarn is if I have some left over and I happen to be storing it. It's just a nice little touch, that way I don't completely forget what my skein is. So I'm going to go ahead and just open up my skein a little bit, and here we go, a nice lovely skein of Darnie. I always think it's nice just to pop your skein a little bit, kind of loosen those fibers, allow it to breathe a little bit before we go and put it on our swift. And don't worry, if you drop it for some reason, it's not a big deal. You can pick it up, it's not a spaghetti mess, because it should have a tie on it that will allow you to very carefully separate all of your strands. And you just want to make sure that you don't have any twisted or crossed strands in there, and you can see that everything looks good from the center. So what I like to do is just go ahead and loop one piece of that skein around my swift. And then this is a nice umbrella swift. So we just go ahead and open that up, and then you're going to take your holder and you want to place that so that your swift can move freely. And it looks like I've got a few hangers in the way. We'll move those. So anyway, my swift can move freely. It looks like it's not going to hit anything. That's good. If for some reason your swift starts to squeak or you have some problems with it, it can be helpful to put a little beeswax right in between that bottom piece and your holder. It just keeps it from squeaking. That's usually where mine squeaks if it's going to. And it may squeak today. We'll find out. And then you'll want to identify any of your ties on your skein, but this one looks like it just has the one tie. So we're going to go ahead and just cut that, take the little end off, and I'm just using my regular crafting scissors. Yes, I could have gone and found my good scissors, but I didn't. And it was just tied with the two ends. You can see I have my two ends pretty clearly here, and you can see that one of them is coming from the bottom and the back, so that's not the one that we want to use. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to tuck it kind of in towards the back, and then what I like to do is just make one little loop and tie that on, and that'll keep it out of the way. This is the strand that we want to use. It's clearly coming from the front and it moves easily. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and thread your ball winder. This is the big ball winder. Let me turn this a little bit. This is the big ball winder. Big ball winder. So all I want to do is prep this one, and prep this one, and set my thread in there so now I can wind it on. And you want to make sure that when you put it into the center of your ball winder on that cone that you snug it down in there so that it stays put. This one is slightly fancier than some of the ones you may see that only have the one arm out here and not the two rotating arms. So once you have your yarn in and threaded, then you're just going to start winding it on. And I found that it doesn't really matter if I do clockwise or counterclockwise. You just sort of pick one direction and go. And what you'll do is you'll just keep winding and winding and winding until your yarn is all wound into a cake. And when you are finished with that, then you'll go ahead and do as I do and take the yarn label, and I like to fold it and fold it and fold it so it fits down into the cone, and then I pull the whole cake off onto my label. So I'm going to pause at this point, and I'll come back when my cake is fully wound. So here I am at the very end of my skein, and I'm just going to wind on those last few yards And you'll see my end popped right off because I didn't actually tie it on. I just sort of loosely looped it. And now I can take my yarn label and set it in the center. And I just push it up. And there we go. Now it's labeled. And I always try to tuck my outside end into the ball. I usually work from the outside. I very rarely work from the middle. I find that working from the outside does help to keep the ball from collapsing there at the end, and having that yarn label in there also helps too. So now we are all wound and we are ready to go. I'll turn it back just a little bit. So that is how you use your Swift and your ball winder. We do have both available at Black Sheep Fiber Emporium. So remember, you can go to the website. That's blacksheepfiberemporium.com. Don't forget to make sure that you hit that like button on the Facebook page. Make sure that you are getting notifications and that you have subscribed to our YouTube channel so you can check out the latest videos. I'm going to be putting up new ones hopefully today or tomorrow with casting on for both. I've decided to do the hat, so I'm going to do the Hetty hat and the Key to the Tree blanket. So it should be a lot of fun. And I'm really looking forward to it. So, again, don't forget to go to that Facebook page, hit like, and make sure that you're following us on YouTube.